Not alone, coming at you with some omega energy. Let me adjust a little bit. I don't know if I'm centered or not. I'm gonna try to keep centered. My lighting's a bit better today, so I'm grateful. Now, today I'd like to discuss a topic with you. I already tried already, and Mercury came through here. But church, God, concepts of such things. So, as a teacher, I always like to bring a level playing field and an open heart and an open mind, and to help anyone who would learn from me to understand where I'm getting the concepts and the things that I'm saying and speaking on into you about. One of those things is understanding that this, my mind, my body, my soul, my consciousness, is the living, breathing visualization of what God is. And so is yours. When you look in the mirror, that's who you're looking at. And how can I explain that in a way that is simple because it's so complex? Well, I'm going to make an attempt here today, and hopefully it'll be in some way beneficial to you. Okay? Okay. Now, every single day you get up and you take care of yourself, your vessel, you're taking care of your church, your temple. The moment you don't take care of it, it begins to crumble. Understand this part? So far, I'm certain. Whenever you leave your bed and you go and be active in your own life, you are creating energy that affects and impacts yourself and other people. The moment you decide that you're going to live, and love is the moment that you live, and love. Now, somebody else can come into your environment and in your house or in your workplace or space or wherever you go and decide that they don't want that. They're walking around in their own temple. Your response to that, and I do say response and not reaction, is your vibration and your creation. Now, we can't do nothing about what other folk do, but we can do stuff about what we do. Does that mean you don't protect yourself? No. But it does mean that you can choose your vibration every single day. Everything you do speaks of your footprint. Every single thing you do. Everyone is welcome to listen to this. Everyone is welcome to understand this. Everyone is welcome to come in and live through the vibration of love while understanding that love is not the only vibration that exists. All other vibrations do too, so we need to have a response for them, for ourselves. Because we live in a multi-vibrational and dimensional plane. Whether you understand or recognize that or not is irrelevant. What is relevant, though, is how you treat yourself and others. Every single vibration you put out there has an equal and opposite reaction. We call it karma sometimes. But the truth is, we attract sometimes some of the things that goes around and vibrates around us based on our vibration. And sometimes you might say, well, that's victim blaming. Some people have said that thing. That's victim blaming. No, there ain't no blame here. It's just, you can be a very good person and vibrate from a very good place. There's an equal opposite reaction to that. Sometimes is a person who is vibrating really, really, really low and seeks to get some of your light because they have none or very little inside of them. So this is why you show up your boundaries and be clear with your intentions of your stuff. That's why you love yourself first. Love yourself first. So you love yourself first, and those whose vibrations are low come and try to steal some of your light, just take it from themselves and not give back to you or return to you. They won't be allowed in to steal it because you loved you first. You set some firm boundaries. Keep them boundaries firm. And those who are having an opposite reaction of not being within light, being super shadowy, they won't be able to come in because you figured out how to firmly set your own boundaries and set your vibration to be like, it's okay. I don't need whatever that is, and keep it moving. Period. Okay? Now, 4 is the center of who you are. If you ever notice that the more you give energy to a negative situation, the more negative energy comes out of that situation. Every single time you try to imbue it with light, if it does not work, then that situation ain't for you. Drop it. Boom, drop it. They can't see. If somebody is in deep, shadowy energy, that means hurt, pain, misery, depression, anxiety, and you're trying to give it light, they're not going to respond to you with light. They're going to respond to you with the vibration they are in. Take that as the no. Take that L and walk. Unless it is your job to help them out of that and they are some way paying you, which is what I do for a living typically. But I understand there's a boundary here. I do not let other people's shadows impact me personally. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to a lot. I was personally invested in every single person I tried to help. Like completely, 100% invested. And I've learned it doesn't make me a bad person not to be. It actually makes me a better person to myself not to be invested. Because the moment their shadows are too dark for my light, it actually comes over here if there's no boundaries. Now, how do you vibrate from a good place and receive from that good place? And when I say good place, ether, universe, God, whatever you believe in, how do you do that? Every single step you take in this life, you figured out a way to honor yourself and everybody that came before you to this moment. Every single moment, you've decided that that's what you're going to do. And then you do it, regardless of what everybody else is doing. You just do it. And that's how you vibrate from a higher place than you used to be if you choose to do so. Now, does that mean that you walk into a building every Sunday? Not that I'm knocking y'all, just listen. And sing hymns and shake hands and then leave that building. And then the whole week decide to be a piece of shit as long as you walk back in that building on Sunday or next Sunday. That does not mean that. As a matter of fact, there you are absolutely doing 0 things positive for yourself or anybody else around you while doing that. As a matter of fact, you are just turning the clock back and bringing karma upon yourself. And you might say, well, an atheist or someone who doesn't believe in any kind of connections to anything might say, well, that's just made up garbage. Well, you know what? If you take it to a place of science, you understand that everything that's set in motion continues to be in motion until something changes or transforms into something else. So if you continue to be a hypocrite, you will always be a hypocrite whether you're in that church or outside of that church until you decide that you don't want to be that no more. Period. And creating energy is the beginning of all things. And if creating energy is the beginning of all things, you create and destroy individually. We all do. And since that is the case, you're walking around being pieces of God and don't even know it. That might have made you quick an eyebrow. I'm not a piece of God. Well, the concept, or at least the human concept of God, is in each and every being, including the animals and plants. It's everywhere around you. Now, making it into an organized religion in order to be punitive to people. Now, that part ain't got nothing to do with nothing I teach. I can tell you that right now. Because your punishments and rewards come in lifetimes that you live. And if hell is anywhere, it's earth. That's something I don't really say out loud too often. But once you become more educated about how your vibration travels through time, which is kind of an illusion when you really think about all the things, but we won't go there today. you'll realize that you are creating your heaven. You are creating your hell. But based on your vibration, not the stuff that people think you are on social media and other places. The truth of who you are, you have created. Now, I don't know about y'all. We've seen pictures from space. I don't see nothing underneath the planet that we're living on that looks like fire to me. So it's a vibration. I have to go with the evidence of my eyes. Even if you're a believer in one deity, in monolithic, not poly. Our eyes, ears, nose, hands. Our different senses are here to help us navigate this dimension, this world. And what I see, the evidence I see, based on my life and the life of others that I've got to share with them in some way, and those I witness happenstance in life, is that the creation, the energy creation that we create every single time we take an action creates heaven and hell for us. And if you know what you're about to do has risk to it, it's okay. Because sometimes risk comes with reward. But make sure that risk is because it's a worthy risk to you. And it isn't in any way harmful to other people if you can manage it. And then, and only then can you be sure that even if the risk you took didn't pan out the way you hoped it did, at least you know you didn't reverberate any energy through the ether or through space and dimension that's going to come back to you or your children, anybody in your bloodline. Because we created, it goes on. It doesn't die. It only transforms, just like we do. And the best thing about that understanding is, that means you get to choose. You get to choose right here, right now. Every single day of your life, and not just on Sundays. To be a decent human being to yourself and other people, no matter how hard that is. Every single day. But first things first, be good to yourself. If you are good to yourself, you're less likely to be ugly to others. I hope y'all don't hear my puppies in the background, but that is the truth of it. Be good to you. As good to you as different belief systems and structures have told you that God is to you. Because that's who you're connecting with when you're being good to you. Because the moment you start to neglect you is the moment you start feeling lack. And the moment you start letting people take advantage of you is the moment you start feeling lack. And the longer you feel lack, the more likely it is you're going to go outside of your normal vibration and do some shit that you normally wouldn't do. Or your conscience tells you this is not right, but you do it anyway because of the experience of lack. So the moment something doesn't work for you anymore, leave it. If it works for you in the future, it works for you in the future. But that moment you realize it is not helping you obtain with the vibration you want. And I know something aggravating the hell out of my dogs right now. They don't want me to tell you this, but I'm going to keep on talking. That's the moment. You have the choice to make. Whether it be a job, a friend, a relative, it does not matter. Once you start to realize you are unhappy, once you start to realize something's really not right with the circumstances, that's the moment that you get to decide heaven or hell for you in that moment. Pressure from outside sources, pressure from whatever, you get to choose. Say it's a job. I don't like what's going on in this job. It don't feel right for me. I don't feel in any way this is right for me. So plan ahead so you can get another job or create another career for yourself in some way, shape, or form. Given the structures and systems that we have right now, it's very difficult to do that, but it's still doable. Okay? You can give that to yourself. If it's a relationship, be okay with being by yourself and crying through it, because trust me, being alone is pretty freaking awesome sometimes, especially once you've done the proper healing. You be like, I don't know if I want to be, I don't know if I want to be bothered with anybody. Like, I love being able to go and come as I please. I love being able to go to brunch or whatever and travel whenever I want to, because I'm just responsible for me. I love not having expectations placed on me and not putting any on others. I'm telling you from experience, that feels pretty nice. But it's also nice to be in a relationship sometimes, when someone's really there for you and right for your current vibration. Both things are good. But also know, treating you well helps you treat others well. And then those vibrations go throughout. Because if you look at it in a microcosm of an employment, a workplace, if the boss is a no good, dirty, corrupt piece of garbage, even if none of the employees are bad, that workplace will be toxic. Because all they gotta do is yell at one employee or do something off to one employee. That employee either will vent to another employee who's going to absorb that energy, which is shadowy, especially if they've been hurt emotionally, and they're going to absorb it. And then the others will absorb it. And then the others will absorb it, because eventually it's going to spread around like a rumor. And then everybody has that energy. And if it keeps perpetuating itself and people keep getting hurt and keep getting harmed by proxy of this one person, that person has impacted thousands very easily, because each of those people have families, each of those people have friends, each of those people have loved ones, each of those people go shopping for groceries and have to interact with a cashier, and if they've had a particularly bad day, they might be throwing off some negative vibes to someone who don't deserve it. And that's how that works. You are creating negative energy. Every single time you have a negative thought, every single time you take a negative action that you could have chosen otherwise, you are creating. Walking around little deities in your own bodies and don't even know it, because you've been told it's evil to think that way. But God, even in the Christian good book, made you in His image. You think it's just about the flesh? It's about the soul. Your soul is creating and destroying based on your vibration. And each one of you are doing that. You want to know why everything is screwy right now? Yeah, there's some guardians doing things. I'm not going to pretend like that's not what's going on, because that's what's happening. But also, too, what perpetuates it and keeps it going is the vibration of the collective of every single person out there, creating and destroying. Seeing toxic situations and deciding to participate in them. That includes littering, engaging in toxic behaviors, friendships, relationships, jobs, because all of that will create more and more toxic vibrations. One of the reasons why the fast food industry and the makeup industry, $1 trillion industries at this particular point, if you add them up collectively, is because of the toxicity. Now, each person has the opportunity, at any point in time you should choose, to break up the vibration. And that is powerful, because you're doing something different than everybody else. That's how trends start, you know. It only takes one to change the vibration, and that I've learned over my lifetime. It takes one. And that one influences another, and that one influences another. That's why influencers became such a big industry as well. But y'all doing it wrong. That's a judgment I'm going to be okay with. You're doing it wrong. Because if you're going to influence somebody to do something, at the very least, influence them to love themselves first. But influence them to love people around them second. Influence them to love the environment third. influence them to always set healthy boundaries around all these things. They are separate entities that are all connected. Opening boxes and opening new things and consumerism is not an influence that creates a positive vibration. All it creates is consumerism, which is not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the best considering. Okay? Till next time, you are loved.